everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and welcome to Dear Profiler Pat. This is my channel where I give advice which you can take, not take, or share it with someone you think needs it more than you. If you'd like me to answer your questions, please do send an email to profilerpatbrown@gmail.com and title it Dear Profiler Pat, so I know what your email is about. I will not use your name or location in order to not point at you so people go, oh, I know who's saying that. We don't like that to happen. But also just remember also to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, click the bell so you get notifications, and literally share this advice I do give to people that you think might benefit from it, especially people, close to you, but you don't really want to say things yourself. Kind of works out. Anyway, this one, a letter was written to me. I thought it was very interesting. And I'm titling this video, Dear Profiler Pat, Should I Be Concerned? Although her email to me was, should I be suspicious? I'm going to do a whole video on should I be suspicious of, my partner cheating on me. And she's concerned about that. But I don't think that's the real issue here. And I think the issue is bigger than suspicion about that, but about things she should be concerned about, and that many of us should be concerned about in our relationships, and a lot of times don't want to actually analyze. Okay, so let's go. Here's what she says. Dear Profiler Pat, I have been with my boyfriend since January this year. We have a wonderful relationship. Instead of fighting, we talk things through. We try our best to understand each other. We met on the internet, since we're both introverted, shy people, and he moved country for me. From the US to, I'm making this country up, Germany. He moved here because the timing was just right with changing job, and we both didn't want to do long distance. Okay, so far so good. But there's just this one thing that bugs me. He has a female friend that he has known for longer than me on the internet. I know it's wrong to look through your partner's phone, but I did, and I'm not pleased with what I found. He has never mentioned having a girlfriend, going so far to say a German when talking about me. When he talks about traveling to Germany before he moved, he never mentions me or why he's traveling. When he met my family, he told her he got the, quote, opportunity to speak to some Germans in their native language. This really bothers me for several reasons, since they seem close, have known each other for longer, and are also closer in age than him and I. I'm 23, he's 35, and she's 42. They have had projects that they've done together, and they seem to talk frequently enough. He has not kept her away from me, and I know they've done these projects and have known about her existence. Okay? They seem like friends, and there's no flirting. But him never mentioning me is bothering me, and I don't know if I should ask or be quiet about it. I just want your advice on this. I don't know if I'm overreacting or not. And many times we think we're overreacting. And usually if you're having that issue, you're not actually overreacting. You're dealing with something, or you're trying to figure out how to deal with it. He's not been treating me any different than what he usually does or anything like that. I guess I was just curious, and that's why I looked through their conversations. Okay. You weren't just curious. You were concerned that something is amiss. What would even lead you to need to look through his phone? Because you think something is off. What it is off in your relationship, I don't know. But something is not quite right. And so when you looked on his phone, you found that there was something not quite right. You didn't find proof of him having an affair or even flirting or sexting or any of that. But you're wondering, why doesn't he tell this person who he's working with, even remotely, but he's working with her and he's friends with on the internet? Why isn't he saying, hey, I met this great person and I've moved to Germany to be with her? He doesn't even have to go into detail, but you would think he would say, I've got a new girlfriend. I moved to Germany. I met her family. They're very nice. Why wouldn't he say that to her? Why is he lying? Why is he lying about your existence? Because that's what he's doing. So now we have two things that have happened. He's lied about your existence to somebody for some reason. And you essentially have broken into his personal space and done something that is not right. So both of you have done something wrong. So why is this happening? What's really going on is what I ask. And so I'm going to use an example of somebody praising food. Okay, because I'm going to now go to the bigger picture of, is there something to be concerned about? All right, so I've had this experience in my life. Okay, so let's say you're cooking and not you cook a nice meal. You've worked very hard at it. You picked out a great recipe, something you think that person would like, not making something, like if they hate Italian food, you don't make them lasagna, But you picked out something you know they would like. You've made it, you've tasted it, you're like, this is good stuff. Other people tasted it and said, this is good stuff. So you serve dinner. He eats it and says nothing. And you go, hey, is the food okay? And he goes, it's fine. Now, what's the problem here? Is there something to be concerned about? The answer is yes, there is something to be concerned about. Now, what is it though? All right. Why doesn't he praise your food? Now, there's a bunch of different reasons, and you have to find out what the reason is. Now, it's possible that he isn't into food. He's one of those people you can go to a restaurant and have no real interest in the food. You could just give him ramen every night. Dude eats ramen every night. He's perfectly fine. He's not interested in food. Therefore, no matter what you feed him, he doesn't care. Now, is this a problem? Well, it's a problem if you're going to have to live your life with this person and they're never going to share food and enjoyment of food with you. If you love cooking and he's never going to enjoy that. If you love going to restaurants and trying new things and he's never going to enjoy that. It's a problem. If you can find enough people to go to restaurants with and have friends over that love your food and you're just like, yeah, him, just give him a bowl of ramen. If you can deal with that, that's fine. But you got to know, this is a guy you could spend the next 50 years with. He's never going to be interested in anything you feed him and not have an interest in any kind of cuisine anyplace. Can you live with that? Now, that may seem small to some people, but it can really grate on you if that's part of your life that you want to enjoy. It's like, oh, look, I made bread today, and he could care less. And yeah, look, I made this great French dinner, and he could care less. I mean, then you have no one to cook for, and you have no one to enjoy what you're doing. That's a problem. Is that the problem though? You got to look at that. Let's say you serve that food to him, and he doesn't have much of a response ever. The question is, does he ever praise you for anything? Does he, you dress up real pretty and he doesn't say, oh, you look beautiful tonight. Never says that. You do something nice for him. He doesn't say thank you. You achieve something. You come home and say, look, I've gotten I've gotten this award. And then he's like, oh, that's nice. You're like, and he never seems to appreciate or praise you for anything. He doesn't treat you bad, maybe, but he's just sort of there. Doesn't take much interest in you and your things that make you happy. That's a problem. And maybe he's highly narcissistic and doesn't want to give you any kind of praise. Do you want to live with that? Because you're going to have to if that's the way he is. It may be that he doesn't give you praise, but he gives other people praise. They go to a restaurant and he'll be very effusive and say, oh my God, this food is fantastic. His friend gets an award. He's like, oh man, my friend Marty got an award. Isn't that great? But doesn't matter. Your cooking doesn't matter. Well, then you got a real issue because he's willing to give his praise elsewhere, but never to you. You might be in a very unfortunate relationship where there's a power and control issue. And he's not going to give you any kind of satisfaction because he doesn't think he should have to. He just wants to control everything you do and everything you think. And he's just doesn't, he's not going to give you the time of day necessarily, or he doesn't feel like he should have to make you happy. Yeah, okay. Is that the relationship you want to be in? This is a problem. So you have to look at what is going on that this person is acting this way. And so here we have a woman who is saying, look, I thought we were doing great, but you're sitting here and you got this friend. You don't even tell her that I am alive, that I exist. Why is that? Well, is it because he does have possibilities that he wants to keep her on the burner as a possible future little romantic relationship? Is that the problem? Or is it that he doesn't like to mix pleasure with business and doesn't want to talk about his personal life with a business friend? Is that it? Or is it that he got a good job offer in Germany and he's using it for a place to live? I don't know. But I do know you were concerned enough to go into his phone and violate his privacy because you thought something was wrong. So I wonder what else is going on in this relationship that you say is perfect, that you get along great, everything's wonderful, except for this. This is a big deal. So you might want to examine if there's more going on that you're just not willing to look at, that the actual relationship has issues. And this is the one you're bringing up, but you actually have a bunch of them, and maybe similar things that he's doing that are like this, where he doesn't give you enough attention or respect or whatever. Something else is going on. You need to find out. And you might need to ask him straight up, look, I did a bad thing. I'm suspicious about some behaviors there's something is going on that just made me really uncomfortable. And I confess, I invaded your privacy. I looked at your phone because I thought maybe you're having an affair with this other woman. And then I see you're not, I don't see any flirting going on. But hey, why are you hiding me? Why am I non-existent in your discussions with her? It's making me uncomfortable. Tell me what's going on here. Now, I don't know what his answer is going to be. You're going to have to determine if you get that answer, if the answer sounds like the truth, or he's just lying, or he's just making something up, because he is covering something up. And you're going to have to see whether there's more going on here in an entire relationship that made you suspicious in the first place. And I'm going to guess there is. Usually it's not one little thing that sets people off. It's something disconcerting that keeps rolling. And then you start going, okay, this is not quite right. Yeah, he never says he likes my food, but why is that? I mean, wouldn't you, if somebody's cooking for you and they put all this effort out, wouldn't you at least be able to say something nice? What the heck? What is it? Is it you like to see me suffer? That you won't, if you think if you praise me, you're going to give away some kind of power that you've got. You're going to give away power if you're nice to me. Yeah, what is it? But it can be a serious thing in a relationship, and you got to find out what that is. Sometimes it's true that they're just that way about everything and everybody in that specific category. Like, some people don't like to go to a movie. They hate movies. They don't like to go out to movie theaters. So if they don't want to go with you to a movie theater, it's not against you, but they should be able to say, look, I just don't like going to movies. It's just not my thing. And you say, okay, do you like watching movies at home? And if they say, yeah, that's fine with me, I enjoy that. Okay, then we'll work that out. I can skip the movie theater with you. I'll go with a friend occasion to a movie theater and we'll watch movies at home. Works? And then you go, yeah, that'll be great. Now, if he also doesn't want to go out to eat with you, doesn't want to go on vacation with you, doesn't want to do anything with you, anything you want to do, he says, I don't see why I have to do that. You got a problem that's bigger than he doesn't like movies. So you got to really analyze the thing that is concerning you. And, it's not a case of where you should be ridiculous. Like, he didn't, like, I put the food on the table. He didn't jump up and rush over to me and take me in his arms and tell me I'm the most marvelous cook that ever existed. I love you. I don't know what I could do without you. I mean, I'm not saying he has to do that, but you're going to have to weigh what you're seeing and weigh why it's bothering you. There are people who are high maintenance. You could be one of them, where no matter what that person does for you, you're the one who's causing the problem, that you're never satisfied with. If they say they love you, it's not enough. If they bring you a gift, it's not a big enough gift. If they don't do 100% of everything you want every moment of the day, they don't love you. You got the problem then. And they might be looking at you going, should I be concerned? The answer will be yes. Yeah, if that person's so high maintenance and they're not appreciative, maybe they're a narcissist. Maybe they got problems, and maybe you need to get out of that relationship. And I will say this to many people who get into relationships. I have a rule. My rule is this. Don't get married before you've dated for 2 years. Make sure you've known that person and been around them for a solid 2 years, not at a distance, but around them, either nearby, dating and always being together, or living together, whatever. 2 years before you get married. Make sure that they're a keeper. Don't get married in 4 months or just toss everything in the wind and rush off with them. No. I mean, I remember back in the days, in the 1940s, people used to meet, like, and they'd say, oh, we met, and then 3 weeks later we got married, and he went off to war and everything. We were married for 50 years. No, that's fantastic. But I don't see that usually working out for people. So you want to make sure the person you're with, the relationship is a good relationship. So wait a couple of years before you get married. And then when you get married, wait 2 more years before you have any children in that relationship. Make sure that once you're married, they don't change. They don't start acting in a way it's different because they're now married. So wait those 2 years before you bring a child into it, because you want to absolutely be sure that that child is going to have a home with parents that care about each other, and it's not going to be a divorce in 2 years. That and the kids have to grow up messed up and living in. Divorce is never nice. I don't care how much people say, oh, we worked it out. Yeah, okay. It's not as good as a good marriage with children happily raising up in a home with people who love each other. That's ideal. No, life isn't always that way, but it's ideal. At least we can try to make it that way. That way, if you're with that person and you got married to them and you haven't had kids yet, you waited those 2 years and there's something wrong with that relationship, at least you can get out of it before you ruin somebody else's life. Your life may be messed up for a while, but at least you're not ruining children's lives. So pay attention to what you're concerned about. I'm not saying being a drama queen about everything, but pay attention. If it's bugging you, there's something going on. Really analyze it. And then talk to your partner about it. Say, hey, this is bothering me. What's up? Why is it? What is happening here? See what they have to say. Maybe they have just a rational reason, and you can actually go, oh, geez, well, that makes sense. Maybe they're going to be then pissed off. You look at their phone, then they got a different issue with you. It's like, hey, I'm always going to have to worry about you, like, playing detective with everything I do. That could be a problem. So, but it's a relationship, and you're going to have to figure out a way to work things out. And if you're honest with each other, if you're truly honest people, best friends as you should be, there shouldn't be this kind of weird stuff happening. So, yes, you have a reason to be concerned. And I hope you work it out. And for all of you other people out there, if you're concerned about something, think it through. Okay, that's it. That's my thoughts on that. Again, if you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe, and send your questions to Dear Profiler Pat. Thanks a lot. Bye.